I go. Gotta get the wiggies cause I'm off to the hole in the road. I'm walking off school and I'm off to the city, watching telly all night and I'm not looking pretty. See, I got this job downtown, selling knocked off ladies watches for £1. For a really dodgy man that I met in a dodgy cafe. You know, he said to me, the girl who sold these yesterday wasn't selling very carefully. Police came along and took her and all my watches away. So if you see some coppers, you grab my stuff and leg it, boy, right away. I'll be in the cafe. Making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way. So it's been a few hours and I haven't sold enough for my bus fare home. Street seller's pretty good, so I turn on the drum for the lunchtime rush with a smile and a wiggle on my schoolboy touch. Well, the charm is working in the underground. There's a crowd of men and women gather round. The watches they are going, the money is a flowing. Think I'll touch a little extra, stick it in my pocket, spend you later. I'm just a boy from Sheffield, making
tonight. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way.
I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way through life. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way. I haven't sold a watch for an hour and I'm dying for a slash. I've had enough of this, so I'm off for a piss. Then a quick walk back round to the cafe. Sitting at his table drinking too. Looks at me suspiciously. Then with a glance at the watch he says, how did you do? He paid me a couple of quid. Then he said, would you like to come and work another day? I said I'd come back down on Friday. And to that he said okay. So with £2 in my pocket and another 5 in my shoe, I nipped down to Castle Market where a man who looks like Leo Sayer is selling pots with cockles and prawns. You make me feel like dancing. Then off back to dinner on the Wiggies and then home. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way. I'm just a
Boy from Sheffield making his way.
Sheffield
making his way.
I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way. Making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way. I'm just a boy from Sheffield making his way.
No, hey, Watson! Now, hold on now, just 1 second.
You sit down there.
I'm juggling around here at the moment, trying to make all this work.
Come
But
on, Jimmy, you've got big shoes to fill.
I know. Good evening, Raccoon Tours News. And I think what we want to do is I would like to thank everybody who has tuned in tonight. Look at it. We have 50 people tuned in already, and we haven't really started yet. So thanks for everybody for tuning in and on this very, very, very special night. This is a very, very important show, as everybody knows, but for another reason which probably many people may not be aware of. Tonight, the reason tonight Dannielle chose tonight to do this show was to honor Jason's birthday, which would have been tonight. So on that note, I would like to welcome you, Dannielle, to the show, and I'd like to welcome you, Emmy. And what I might say is just it's an honor and a privilege to actually meet you after all this time. And hello.
Hello.
Oh,
And you've
God.
all seen me before.
just fleeting glimpses, really. Like it used to be really funny, actually, Danielle, when Jason was used to be messing around with that green screen thing,
Yeah.
and you'd come in as a fleeting ghostly image from one side. It used to be
Yeah.
so comical. Oh, excuse me, I come armed tonight with tissue because I was thinking that I would probably need some.
I think me and Emmy we've done all our crying today, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
We've had an hard day today. It's not been a very good day. We've been to see him at Chapel Arrest today. Gave him his birthday cards and his bear, and said our goodbyes to him. So it has been a really, really hard day for us. But for anyone that don't know what happened, I came home from work on 4th of April at about 6 o'clock. Ran in through the living room because I were absolutely dying for the toilet. Thought Jason were asleep on settee. Watson were outside on garden. Got changed, came back downstairs, let dog in. So I'd walked past him twice, and I thought dog had woke him up, and he didn't. So I tried to wake him, and there was just nothing. Felt for a pulse, couldn't feel one. So I phoned paramedics and did CPR on him to try and sort of revive him, but it was too late. I think the thing that I kept saying, and Emma attests to this, is when I dragged him off settee, I banged his head on the floor, and I just felt so guilty. So that's forever will stay in my mind that I dragged him off settee and banged his head on the floor.
I've checked his head; it's fine today. I checked it.
I was just
Emmy's kissed it better for him today.
Yeah.
any indication as to what time of the day it was, because I remember the day in question, and I remember when we were very, very close to show time, I think, and I checked on his I checked his idle time on Telegram, and it looked like he had been on Telegram sometime about 2 hours previously. Did we get an indication of like what time of the day it happened, or?
He texted me at about 12:15. It was still warm, so we think probably around 4 o'clock. Bearing in mind, Jason had the heating on at our house at like 25 degrees all the time. So, yeah. It was
I'll tell you what, I would like to just take a moment just to offer you my sincerest condolences from the Emerald Isle here, and I'm pretty sure I didn't go through the chat yet, but I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat here has just been deeply shocked by all of this.
Yeah, it was a complete shock. He wasn't poorly, he wasn't feeling ill. So because it was a unexpected death, he had to go to the coroner, and they did a scan. So they didn't do an invasive post-mortem. They just did a head-to-toe scan, and what they could see is that one of his arteries had blocked, and essentially his heart had stopped because there was no blood going into it. He would have been in pain for maybe 2 or 3 seconds, and then he would have lost consciousness. So it wouldn't have been in pain. He wouldn't have known it were happening. He'd have just got in his sleep, and when I found him, as I say, he looked like he were asleep. So,
right, would he normally have taken a nap in the evening like that, or?
Well, Emmy, let's explain your part as to why I thought you were asleep.
Well, he picked me and my partner up from airport the Tuesday early hours of the morning at 3:30. Yeah, 3:30. So he dropped us off here about 5. So he didn't get into it. Well, probably didn't go to bed till about 6 in the morning. So that's why you would have thought he'd have been napping for the day into Danielle, because obviously he he dropped us off at 6 in the morning. He had no sleep before. So he wasn't one for napping anyway, was he? But obviously because of that, I thought.
I think, and he had his tub of weed at side of him, so I thought, well, he's had a joint and gone to sleep. Police confiscated that. But
no way. No way. They're greedy. I tell you what, they never miss an opportunity.
So yeah.
He's got more though, so it don't matter.
Yeah. So I've come to caravan. For those of you that don't know, we've got a caravan. This was Jason's place. It was his dream. It's what he wanted. So we've come to me and my friend have come to caravan just to raise a glass to him and feel close to him and spend some time with him. But as I put it into my sat nav, I know it way to caravan, but I put it in sat nav just in case, because we've usually got Jason outside of me telling me, no, yeah, you need to be going that way, you need to be going that way. And sat nav has just took me the complete wrong way. It's took the same amount of time, but it's took me a route that I didn't know where I were until I was 9 miles away from caravan. So I were on phone to Emmy, and I said, I think your dad's just fucking with me sat nav. Just like think you can get to Skeggy without me. Forget it.
He's haunting you from the other side still.
Yeah.
But I think I got a sense though, because just about a week or so before the fateful day, you were down in the caravan. This probably was. I'm not sure if it was the Friday before he died or whether it was the Friday prior. You were at the caravan.
You did a show on Friday. We were
and do you know what? He so rarely gave me a glimpse into his private life. He was a personal type of man, and he kept his private life to private to a certain degree. But he sent me over a video on Telegram the night you were down at the caravan, and he was telling me just how much he loved that place, and it was just. And I got a sense he really did love it there. This was his sort of respite away from the whole crap. And he loved that little caravan. He took a little video and he was showing me around the caravan. And he even had his Rubik's cubes and everything there.
Yeah. So we've got 32 at home, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So,
yeah.
But yeah, he spent a lot of his childhood here, and Emmy and her cousin have spent a lot of their childhood here as well. And don't say it's a little caravan. He is so proud of this caravan. It's the biggest, most poshest, most amazing caravan in the world. He spent all his money on it. He absolutely loves it. It's like a little bit of luxury.
I know. I got the sense because he was showing me around, and he was showing he wouldn't go so far as to bring the video camera up to the bedroom to show me what you say. Dannielle, she's asleep down there. We won't go there. We won't go there.
I can show you a bedroom because we've only just got here, so I've not met bed up yet.
Don't worry about that. It's okay. No, not many of us are.
So it's got a Katie cornered king size bed, and then bathroom right next to the bed, so you can get to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It was big enough for his wheelchair.
And then his walk-in wardrobe.
Amazing, but I did get the sense though he just loved that place so much. And how long have you been going down there, Dannielle?
You what, sorry?
How long have you been going to the caravan?
About 10 minutes.
No. How long have you had that little respite, that little escape place? So I think we've lost Dannielle just a little bit.
So yeah,
I'm back.
she's frozen.
I'm back.
We're frozen.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you're frozen.
But you can't see me. Oh.
Yeah, kind of frozen. I wonder if you exit out of the chat and then rejoin. Maybe it
Okay,
might.
I'll try that.
Yeah, it might reset the camera. So how have you been, Emmy?
All right, plodding along. As good as I can be. It can only get easier now, but it will be missed by everyone.
I can relate to that, like, because I obviously I haven't known Jason as long as you have, like, but I've been really at odds for weeks now. It's like it's been just can't get back to myself. I can't even get back into my old routine of just doing the news and stuff like that I normally do, and it's just
Yeah.
so I can only imagine what it's like.
Yeah, you usually do it with my dad, don't you, as well?
Yeah, well, we used to have our own little take on the news cycle. In fact, me and your dad really had a kind of like we were very similar in a lot of ways, how we viewed events in the world. And you're back, Danny. No, everything seems to be working. So I was just saying to Emmy like about the news cycle and me and Jay, and we were quite similar in how we viewed what was going on, and we both seen it like it's just a game. It's like it's all theater and it's all made up, and we were very, very agreed on little things like that. It was all bullshit, and it's just
That's
there as
strange, isn't it? Not many people agree with saying things like that with my dad.
No. Which is why when I send you videos, I have to send you one of his rants.
Yeah. Well, we should inform you. We do have some really cool videos to share at some stage of the evening, like So we'll try and fit as many of those in as possible, and I'll try to do it in such a way that I don't screw up. So, but yeah, like I had to look through them several times there. I didn't get really a huge amount of time with them, like, but I think I have. I think I know I've titled them all too, so I know kind of what's in each of them. Like, but so, some of them are really cool, and I have to say thanks for sharing those with us, Danny. We'll fit as many of them in as we can as we go along. Like
the one with Dinny, I don't know if Dinny's listening, but the one with Dinny, it was just so hilarious. I'm sorry. It just every time I watch it, it makes me laugh, and there's actually a few, but it just makes me laugh.
Them ones that we were watching earlier.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if I can get a screen share up and running. I've actually I'm upside down tonight, and I have it all set up in a way that I shouldn't have it set up. But if I can add the one in from Dinny for a start, right? And hopefully now my audio is going to work the way it should work. What I want is I'd like it to be able to give audio, but as well. But sometimes it doesn't always work like that on StreamYard. Let's see, where is this one from Dinny now?
So got he calls him the ghost version of Jason.
Let me know then.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
I like Mark Fegan. I'd shake him by the hand. Even go for a fucking pint with him. But I wouldn't suck his big, fat, juicy, delicious cock.
Yeah, we actually that comes up quite a lot. That used to come up really quite a lot with Jay, sometimes in midstream, big fat juicy cocks would just come out.
They're delicious.
And Dinny of all people talking about juicy fat cocks, you know it.
And
yeah.
Dinny, I've just seen that you're in chat room, so the other videos are between you, me, and Emmy because we're the only ones that have seen them. But
Yeah.
I could just say that you had me and Emmy howling this afternoon. So thank you, because just the stuff they were making you do, and you were just doing it. I just my heart's off to you. You're just brilliant.
Of course, like Dinny and Jay used to get into more arguments than I can remember. Like everything used to end up in an argument with Dinny and Jay. And
Yeah.
I
They've
think
always been like that, though. Always been like that. In fact, I think at one time when Andy were around, I think I've screamed at dinner over internet. So, yeah. He's a good lad. He takes it all on chin. So, and I know that Jason were really fond of him, no matter how much he sort of ribbed him.
I know it used to be funny in the after shows, right? They'd swing up the after shows, and you'd know things were going to start going pear shaped, because next thing you know, Jason would get a Rubik's cube out, and Dinny would be going on doing what Dinny does, and you could tell by Jason that he was like, "I'm gonna kill him."
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, some funny videos.
Yeah, indeed. But come here, tell us, Danielle, how did you and Jason meet? How did that all happen? Were you childhood sweethearts, or did you just get thrown together by accident, or what happens? How did that happen?
So we met while Jason were DJing. So when I were in my 20s, I were a bit of a rebel, and I had a big group of friends. One of them's here with me now, and we used to go out every weekend to the same bar. And one of our friends was DJ there, Lee, and he left, and this new DJ came. And my friend Laura were one that first started talking to him, and I was seeing somebody else. But him and Laura, he used to bring sweets for her. Jason, big fan of sweets. And so he got talking to Laura. Laura was pregnant at the time, which is why she had sweets rather than alcohol. And just through Laura, that's how we got talking. And then one day I was walking to a bar, and he just shouted over at Mike, "I say," and I turned around and went, "What? Come here. This is over at microphone. Everybody can see it." I walked over, and he didn't have anything particular to tell me, but I just put my number in his phone and phoned myself from his phone. So so then he'd got my phone number and I'd got his, but then I saved it twice. So when he eventually phoned me, it just came up with a number rather than a name. And I picked the phone up and went, "Who's this?" And he says, "Why, how many people's numbers have you got tonight?"
Oh, that sounds so typical of him. Yeah, to be honest, he was. I'd imagine he was a bit of a wild lad, out clubbing all the time, playing records. So, like, he was like, you met him like when he was a DJ, and everybody knows he was a DJ. So, like, obviously, like, he was out like partying a lot, like, and out,
he were grumpy, he were mardy. If you went over and asked him for a song, he'd say, "I'm not a fucking jukebox. You don't put money on me. I do this job because I tell you what's good music. You don't tell me." And he would never play any requests. It was the grumpy old fart. He knew best. And to be fair, he was good at his job. He didn't know what he was doing. So
yeah, I can relate to that. I've also been done a bit of DJing in my time, and I didn't give a damn what anybody else wanted. I said, "No, I'm going to play the shit." Right? That's it.
Yeah.
forget about requests.
Yeah, that was Jason all over. He weren't having it. Apart from me, if I asked for something.
You melted his heart. You won him over.
His first date were at 24 Hour Asda, we went and got a bottle of vodka and went back to my house and just sat drinking and talking all night. And then a second date, we went out for a meal and I paid. And then it's just been like that ever since, to be fair.
Oh wow. Yeah. Would that be a typical Sheffield lad, you know, like very, very tight, like
Well, Jason's actually from Rotherham, so
oh dear.
Nothing wrong with Rotherham. Nothing.
he didn't have a visa, so he could only go to cash points, get some money out, and I said, "Oh, just forget it, I'll pay."
My dad
Yeah.
worked tight with me anyway. He weren't a grafter.
No, it's as little work for as much money as possible.
He was a good house husband though.
He was.
Yeah, I got a sense for what he was like really over the last few years, like because he was always there for his friends, like, and I remember back about like he used to tell us like what he'd be doing for 80, he'd be bringing him here, there, and everywhere, and like he'd get up at a moment's notice. It was that court case that was going on? I can't remember where exactly that court case was, but he upped and left, and he went there several times to that court case. There was a murder case, I think it was, and you know, and
Yeah.
you know, he was very, very loyal. I thought, like, and he'd get up and he'd go at a moment's notice. That was the sense I got of him, like, you know.
Murder case.
Yeah, you know, Laura's stepsister.
Oh yeah.
So Laura, my friend who introduced us, she lived with me at time. She was renting one of my rooms, and she had Summer at sort of the beginning of our relationship. So Summer's always, she's 15 this year, in June. So Summer's always been mine and Jason's, and Summer's just dying to move in with me. Now that this is me, she wants to come and live with me. So yeah, Summer's always been ours, and Laura and Summer have always called him Uncle Jason, so is really close to them. But actually, he wasn't the first one to tell me that he loved me.
That's okay. We've all been there.
Even though I didn't want him to have a girlfriend.
Oh dear.
So, back in the day, we were using MSN to talk to each other, and Emmy were round at her dad's flat and talking to me on MSN, and she said, "My dad loves you." And he was mortified because he come back on computer. I says, "I've heard you love me," and he was like, And then when I first met him, she was like just a demon child. She wouldn't look at me. She would give me dirty looks. She was like clinging onto her dad, like wrapped round his legs so that I made him
stay in bed with me, didn't I? Like for a few, like for a month. When that mistake yours, you're not staying with her, you're staying with me. I'm your daughter.
Yeah.
So how does the family? What are the family connections then? Can you just maybe because like Jason would never talk about this sort of stuff. He never went into it, like not with me personally anyway. So how's the family?
Danielle's my stepmom. You married my dad when I was 10 or younger?
Yeah, about 11.
Yeah. And then it was my mum before that. Then met Danielle. Yeah. And Danielle's got with someone else before my dad. So that's his stepson. So yeah, that's the family connections in.
Yeah, there's me, Emmy, Jason and Connor.
Yeah.
Connor be the brother, kind of like brother from another mother in a sense.
That's it. Even though I've not seen him for 10 years, but he's not changed.
Okay. And how old is Connor?
He's 22.
22. And can I ask you how old you are, Emmy?
25 and 26 nearly.
Wow. You don't even look a day of it.
I know. I've had that talk to me twice today now.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Dad's good looks.
Don't look to me, and
I was maybe at this moment might play another video if I could find one. Because there was some beautiful little videos that you sent over to us today. No, I don't want to share a screen. Let's share a video because the video files seem to actually work. We always have like problems like sharing certain things and audio. I've had problems with audio, but I found there was a beautiful one. Yeah, like let's take a moment just to remember Watson, right? How has Watson been taken? Like, because I
Hello,
always
mummy. Hello, mummy. Hello, mummy. Go on, say hello, mummy. Good boy.
I thought there was no. There's other ones there of Watson, like, but how has Watson been taking the big change now? Has he been? Is he even aware of the gravity of what's happened there?
I think he is. He's so for the first couple of nights, when it worked in our houses, I'd go to bed. Watson would come up and lay with me for 20 minutes and then he'd go back downstairs. So he'd wait until I were asleep and then he'd go back to Jason. But so for the first few nights, he would come into bed with me and then going back downstairs. But Jason weren't there. So I were leaving a light on for Jason, which is probably seems odd, but it were a bit of comfort for me because if I went to the toilet, I could see that light were on downstairs and it were like he were there. So, but he's started coming to bed with me. He's actually stopped biting people, which is nice.
yeah.
That's something I wanted to ask you, like, right? Because some of the things I've said to Jason about Watson, I couldn't repeat here tonight because they weren't nice. Like, but I'm telling him what he should do with him. Like, but you know, I was just wondering, like, who's Watson going to bite now?
Well, yeah, he's got nobody to bite anymore. Like, he's started biting Octub, which I'm not very happy about.
He'll figure something out then.
Yeah. I think he had a bit of a nibble at Connor today.
He wants to bite you if you're leaving.
Yeah, if you leave, he has to bite you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always seen Watson as the demon dog, you know.
Oh,
But
yeah.
after watching the videos today, I kind of like, I think, oh God, look, he's kind of cute, you know. I didn't realize.
The dog.
He's Jason in dog form.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt about that. Like grumpy old man.
It really is.
Yeah, of course. There was one really. There was, I suppose, like you pulled out a video there earlier on, like which sort of like personifies Jason in a sense, like on his grumpy side. I'm pretty sure, like everybody would know. Where is it though? Yeah, this one here.
Clicks. Get a telly in so that they might get followed on fucking Twitter or some daft shit. That's all they fucking do it for. They fucking pieces of shit, man. Oh, they were too fucking nasty. I was telling you, man, we thought it was here all over again, and then we remember we were there. Yeah, that was I'm telling it. Fuck off, fucking dickhead. Jesus fucking Christ. I hope you wear extra followers or whatever you fucking got for that shit is fucking, you know, I hope it were worth it, you fucking piece of crap. Fucking Geordies. I used to like them and all. I used to think they were fucking all right. But this one's really decided.
I was trying to figure out earlier on, like, because I remember that. Is that from the last show or near enough? Like, I wonder, was that in relation to a certain weapons expert with a second name Steele? I don't know. I was just trying to imagine.
I think it might be. It's either him or Garrett.
Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, I could imagine grumpy Jay, at times because I can relate to that. I'm like
Oh,
that. To
it were a
start giving it.
nightmare, weren't he, Emmy?
Yep.
Absolute nightmare.
But
Oh,
never change him ever.
no. He always stuck to his convictions.
Yeah. You couldn't
I'll
change him
tell you-
anyway.
I'll tell you now, for 15 years, me and Jason have been having an argument about what plates are made of.
Plates.
Plates. Everybody knows about this argument, and I challenge you to find on the internet what plates are made of and prove it to him, because Jason is adamant that plates are made of plate. Not ceramic, not pottery, not clay, not glass. They're made of plate. And you look on internet what a plate's made of, and it doesn't tell you. So I've never been able to prove to him that they're not made of plate.
I know. I suppose in a way I relate to him, because in that sense, I've been around all the same haunts he has. I've followed the same conspiracy theories for the last 25 years. I've kind of walked in the same path as him in a way, and I'm at the stage now where I don't believe a goddamn word I'm told either. So in a sense, I can relate to him, because you hear stuff like such and such is XYZ, and I say, we don't believe a goddamn fucking word of that. No, fuck off. That's just a word. Fuck off. Go spread your misinformation somewhere else.
Oh, do you know what? He so loved being right. Just absolutely loved being right.
But when he was proved wrong, he hated it.
Yeah, he did.
In fact, he was still not wrong.
See, I'm a pacifist, and when he were going on a rant, or if he were swearing blind that something else, I'd just go, yeah, all right. Emmy would argue with him.
Yeah. Well, when he got COVID, all he ever used to say is COVID doesn't exist. And then I got a text saying, I've got COVID. So I texted him back saying I thought it didn't exist.
Yeah. I used to go through phases with him, though. It was there's only so far I can go down the conspiratorial route. And there comes a time you sort of have to say, okay, let's take it as read that such and such is real, right? And I'd be going on about some interesting topic that we'd find about maybe space, right? We'd be talking about space and then you turn around to me and he's, there's no such thing as space, it doesn't exist. So,
No, it's a vacuum.
I'd be there and I'd be just thinking, is this fucker trolling me or what's
Imagine living with it. You had him 4 hours a week. I had him 24/7. Got to a point where if I were talking about work, he'd just go, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. And when he were talking, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, he's a bastard. Yeah. We just didn't listen to each other anymore. He'd go on his rants. Yeah. But
of course, you're probably diametrically opposed to each other in a lot, not like personality wise, but maybe in ideas with the world. Jason, of course, been down the 9/11 route, the moon hoax, all that sort of stuff. You probably don't pass too much heat and all that. Would that be a fair assessment?
to be honest, everything he tells me, I listen to it. I make my own decisions about it. There's nothing that he knows that I don't know, because we talked a lot, and he'd tell me stuff. So it were me that decided Bruce Forsyth were dead. And I says to him, probably about 2 months before it came out that he were dead, I said, Bruce Forsyth is dead. I'm telling you he's dead. Oh, well, we'll see. I says, I'm telling you he's fucking dead. Anyway, and then it came out, I said, I fucking told you he were dead. He's been dead for months. He's been dead for months, I'm telling you. And then we used to watch darts religiously. Every year we'd watch darts over Christmas and New Year. And I was watching it, and I'm thinking, do you know what? He's such a better player than him. So, for instance, Van Gerwen is such a better player than Peter Wright. But Van Gerwen would win like 3 legs. And then he'd lose next 4. And I just turned around to him one day. I said, you do know that this is fixed, don't you? And he's like, it's not. It's fixed. I'm telling you, it's fixed. That dart player is just, he could take him out in next 3 darts, but he's not going to. He's going to let him win it so that it goes on until 10 o'clock. So I ruined darts for him.
Oh, that's so. So you both had your own unique takes on things, like, and
Yeah.
probably equally as reluctant to take on the other's sort of like opinion.
Yeah.
As much as each other, like, and that's quite reasonable. That's how reasonable people. That's how normal people sort of like react to each other. It's like, it's okay. I'll listen to you, like, but it doesn't mean I have to sort of take on board what you're trying to tell me, like, but I'll listen to you.
It'd get to a point where I just said, you know what? Just fucking shut up. Go on radio, go and ring dinner, talk to Leeds, talk to Brady, talk to Webber. I can't even deal with you anymore.
You just take it personal, though. Very personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you used to ring him about something, and he used to be like, and?
Yeah.
Like, like when Tom Zanetti messaged me back, and? Like, all right. But then you got me to listen to us on your show. And if I got and, he'd get right face on. We were too similar, that's why we clashed.
Yes, they're both very stubborn. When they get into a row, them two, I'm just going out.
Yeah. Very often that we'd argue, but when we did, it'd be like a competition who would message you first. And I used to try and take it wrong again. And the last time we argued, my dad cracked first. I'm like, oh, he messaged me, how are you? But he did used to get really upset when me and him argued, didn't he, Danielle?
Yeah, really upset.
Bless him.
Emmy is his miracle baby, the apple of his eye. Yeah, absolutely.
In his eyes. I'm a lesbian in his eyes.
Yeah, she's the queen of the lesbians.
Yeah.
I'm sure that went down well. He was very, very perturbed by the whole transgender issue, like, and he used to go on rants about it, like. Yes.
Well, I'm not going to comment because of what I do for a living, but yeah, I agree.
He had that conversation with me and Devon at Wyoming about transgenders, and I just thought, don't even go there. Please don't. I need some tablets for my headache.
Oh yeah, but he used to get so upset about it, because like. I'd be sitting back and be like, it's all LARP, you know that, like but like a lot of people do take it kind of seriously because it's such a hot topic these days. At the moment, it's like you think it was a big issue, but it's not such a big issue. Like, but he used to take it very, very personally and used to get really wound up, like by it, like
a rant. It wasn't an excuse to rant.
If he could rant about something, he would rant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Every time a funeral advert came on, you used to always say, "Why would you want to plan your death? Pay for something for when you're dead."
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
About that one time.
He told me to just leave him out up front, and somebody would pick him up.
Let the birds get him. Let the crows get him.
I'm not doing that, but
yeah.
On that topic, his funeral is it Wednesday?
The 3rd, isn't it?
Yeah.
3rd of May. And what's the location?
So it's at Cliff Wood Crematorium in Sheffield, which is close to where we live. And then the wake is at my auntie's pub, which is not too far away, and anybody's welcome to come. It's not going to be a sad affair. We've sort of said Sheffield Wednesday colours, Raconteurs News colours, come as you are. He wouldn't have wanted anything formal. He told me a long time ago what music he wanted. You can probably guess which song you'll be leaving to, which song he'll be going out to, or which band at least. But the song in the middle of the ceremony, that's something that he told me a long time ago that he wanted at his funeral. And then the song as we're entering is something that's means something to him and his mum from when he was a child. So yeah, it's going to be quite an upbeat ending, I think, at Emmy's request.
No, that's great. And what about Jason? Did Jason have siblings and that are still around?
Yeah, so he's got a younger sister, Louise, who's married to Richard, and then they've got a daughter, Megan. And then there's obviously Emmy and her partner, Devon.
We're not a big family on my dad's side, are we?
I think it's just that you and Louise that your dad and Louise had only got one child each, but I think the rest of the family are quite big, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah.
I remember there's one important story that like Jay used to constantly talk about was Emmy's in-laws, and he used to think back with great fondness about the time that Emmy was on the phone call with the mother-in-law, and Emmy had it on speakerphone, and the mother-in-law was tearing Jason a new arsehole.
Who was that?
Emmy's mum's mum. When you were on to your nan.
My nan. Yeah.
And Emmy's face for a picture.
There were no way me getting out of it.
Emmy were just like, I just want to curl up and die.
No. Awkward.
So awkward that you put it on speakerphone.
I was on speaker at the first, so like there were no point in me turning it off because I were already in too deep. So I just thought I didn't know what to do. I just had her on speaker anyway. My dad always used to say that whenever anyone phoned from my mum, well, if my mum phoned, because my mum used to just rant all the time. I'd put her on speaker so I can hear her, because he used to love it, listening to her ranting.
Sorry, I haven't been paying close attention to the chat. I've just been focused on Emmy and Danielle, but I've just seen this comment in passing, and this is something that has been playing on my mind a lot. Like, obviously, Danielle, you've probably listened back to that last show, and I missed it on the live stream. I absolutely missed it on the live stream where he said that this was our last show, and he was talking about a dream that he had, like that he had died, but that you don't die, and that, like, you know, you just instantly sort of like get transported into something else. And I'm a firm believer in that myself personally. Like, but did you listen back to that last piece, that last show?
Not listened to it. I listened to it first, maybe 15 minutes, and then I turned it off because it is really quite difficult to. I know that I'm kind of all smiles. We're both all smiles now, but actually, he's left a massive hole, and it's really difficult. And we wanted to do this, me and Emmy, so that we could just sort of share with you all that it's just how special he were, how much everybody loved him, and how much we loved him as his family, because you only saw like a tiny snapshot of his life, but it was like that all the time. He ran, he was happy, he was affectionate, he was loving, as I say, Emmy, she is the apple of his eye. He would do absolutely anything for her. He'd walk on hot coals. He would do absolutely anything for her. And for us as his family, we've got that softer side of him to remember, and so just pictures, listening to his voice, watching him on YouTube. At the moment, it's just too hard. But I did see some comments. If anybody's wondering, I've got Jason's phone. It's me that's on Telegram, and it's me that's on his Facebook. It's not a ghost.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I can tell you is there was nothing wrong with him. He wasn't ill. He was, he was quite happy. I left him morning, told him I loved him, gave him a kiss. He was in bed. He wasn't in any pain. I spoke to him during morning, and leading up to it, there was nothing wrong with him. He was absolutely fine. And the paramedics and the coroner all said, there's nothing you could have done. We wouldn't have caught it. There would have been no warning signs or anything. So I don't think he knew, but I don't know.
Yeah. Hard to know.
He always promised me that if he were, because essentially he had a heart attack, he always promised me that if he was in chest pains, he'd tell me. He'd ring an ambulance. And actually, when funny story, when he had his last heart attack at the end of 2015, my son came home from school, aged 15, and he'd already texted me, and I phoned my son and said, "Are you home yet? You need to check on Jason. I think he needs an ambulance." And he went up to the bedroom while I were on phone to him, and Jason said, "Ring me an ambulance," and Connor said, "What's number?" Jason like, "It's 999."
Good man, Connor, a man of the world.
I think that would probably just panic, but I think just if he'd have known, he would have done something. He would have phoned an ambulance. He would have phoned me. I were always available. He could always get in touch with me while I were at work. Ironically, I very rarely went into work on a Tuesday. It's just that I'd got visits to do that day. So
it'll have been fast, won't it? It won't even.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No.
Because he didn't want to die.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, because it has been, considering that, like, it is a kind of a conspiracy channel. It's like, and for him, like, of course somebody was going to hone in on that, like, and just say, he said it. It's the last show, and I listened back to it and I says, fuck, he said it. It's like,
well, last night I was writing his birthday card. So I wrote about 3 pages, but I was sobbing my heart out, and I was like, I couldn't really breathe. I think we were on verge of having a panic attack, and I went and opened the back door, and Watson stood aside of me, and as I opened back door, a pigeon landed on fence. Now Watson don't like pigeons, don't like any birds. He chases them. And Watson stalked down the garden so slowly, he was like in stealth mode, all the way to the bottom of the garden, and then just got underneath this pigeon. He was like, "Brrr!" I just looked up. I said, "That's you, innit? You've done that." So, yeah. And there's a few things that I've just sort of thought, that's you. Like, he didn't tinfoil from me.
I've got an annoying little dog that's actually named after my dad.
Yeah.
So to introduce you the new Jace.
Yes, little Jace.
This is little Jace. About a week after my dad died, but my dad.
My
dad knew about him.
Hey, little Jace.
Hello, to you listeners. This is your show now.
Wow, he's lively anyway. Very lively.
That's why I keep flinching.
It's been a bit of a bugger with you today, Auntie.
Oh yeah. Oh, like the big Jason. Why
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they're hard work. Dogs are hard work at the best of times.
Yeah.
Very demanding. They can be, especially as pups, like, because it takes them a long time to settle. So I don't have a lot of patience for dogs anymore. They just annoy me now. But I hope that you that the puppy settles. Jason Jr. settles very, very soon, and he doesn't torment you too much.
Yeah.
No, you could call him JJ, Jason Jr.
Yeah. My dad out him, so I had to get him, even though it was his death. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Danny, about because Jason would have taken over Raconteurs from Andy. If I think it might have been back in 2018, right? Was in around that time frame.
Yeah.
How did he adjust to actually taking over? Because Andy, like, obviously would have been the main driver of the channel back then. Like, and when Andy started off, like, Jason was lumbered with the job of taking care of the crew, like, So how did it fare out for him? How did he adjust to that? Like, because there was so many times, like, he'd be talking about, like, he'd be sort of like thinking about, I'm going to do a show today, but then he was thinking about, no, I'm going to cancel because I don't want to do it. So I think there was times I got a sense that, like, he just felt like, I don't want to do this crap. Like, why am I doing this? It's like, you might have some insights into how he was back then, like when he took over, and how he made the adjustment into having to do a regular slot here on the internet and take care of a community of people which had already been there online on the channel for some time.
I think it were a bit of a lifeline for him, because 2018 were when he had his leg amputated, and I think just having that connection to, because it were a really overwhelming time for us. When Jason got out of hospital, he didn't have a wheelchair, he didn't have a prosthesis. It were literally, and we didn't, house wasn't adapted, and it were quite overwhelming. And on those days that he didn't do a show, it wasn't because he didn't want to. I think it was just because he just felt so overwhelmed and quite vulnerable as well. That, there's been periods of his life where he's felt really vulnerable and maybe even frightened to do things that he used to do before. But Jason being Jason, he just faced it head on. And I know that what he said a couple of weeks ago is that he were going to stop at 666. So when we got to show 666, he were going to stop. I don't know what number you're on now. I think it were on 662 at time when he told me. I don't know what it's on now.
I don't know.
But I just says to him, no, you're fucking not. You've already paid for it for a year, so you're at least going until January next year.
Yeah, but you wouldn't believe the amount of times that he said in the last few months that this was going to be his last year. He said this a number of times over the last few months, that this is my last year doing this, and this was even without talking about stopping at the 666. For some reason, he seemed to be convinced that this was going to be his last year. So doing it, like, so
but
odd.
Well, no, Jason, he talks a lot of bollocks.
Yeah.
It would never stop him doing this. We're never going to stop doing it.
That was my sense also. That was my sense as well too. And because as we were sort of like developing a relationship with each other, I was just thinking, I was looking forward to seeing what we'd be like a year from now.
Yeah.
Because we were already starting to gel a bit, like, and we were developing a little bit of a rapport with each other. I started coming on with Jay. He used to call me my sidekick, Jimmy, and then over the last few months, I'd been sort of like promoted from sidekick to my esteemed colleague in the Emerald Isle.
Oh, you're my erstwhile colleague. And then, Jason, what does erstwhile mean? Don't know. Yeah, we're always in background listening. You couldn't see me, but I were always there.
Oh, we knew. You told me you told me something really fascinating over at Telegram. I hope I don't breach privacy rules here, like, but regarding gold, right? And you were saying that like Jay was often talking about like buying gold, but you wouldn't let him, like, so.
No.
Must see a bit of.
But I'm gonna buy some gold. No, you're not. But on the other hand, I couldn't stop him from buying all the thousands of Rubik's cubes that he bought. I also couldn't stop him from buying the drones,
Which are mine.
which him and Emmy played with. So Emmy's claimed the drones. Were like,
I was
Jason,
better than. I was
yeah.
better.
Right, Jason, what are you going to do with your drone? You've got one fucking leg. How are you going to get into a place where you can fly a drone?
Yeah,
Then-
the ideas.
Then he ordered a load of magnet fishing stuff. Right, Jason, what are you going to do with this? I'm going to go magnet. Yeah, but you aren't, though, are you? So, but see, he'd use my Amazon account, and I'd be like either up at stables or I'd be at work, and I'd get an email to say your order for such and such strength magnet is being dispatched. I'm like, what the fuck have you bought now? So he bought a lot of crap.
Oh God, love him, like, definitely, I can relate to the Rubik's cubes, but I'd only have a couple of Rubik's cubes. Thankfully I never developed a fetish for them or anything like that. Like, just it was enough for me just to do a 6x6, and that's it. That was happy with that. Like, and I don't want to go too far into it. I have enough of my own problems, but it's like, but I just thought it was funny that I said, "No, you're not buying gold. Fuck off." So we know who was the boss anyway. So that's the most important thing. Like,
Yeah,
but I was just saying. Yeah, but he did have prepper thoughts though. He did he had these tendencies. Maybe he thought like maybe we should be prepping, like, for this great disaster if it happens, right?
We did. I found a tin of spaghetti oops that went off in 2020. Right, I took them away then.
prepping J style hula hoops and chocolates.
Sweets, Haribos. Always sweets.
I must see. Do we have any other interesting little videos just to play? Because there's a good few of them here, and so we got the. Yeah, this one I actually love. Like, I think quite a few people have probably seen this as well too. But your last holiday.
Oh yeah, I didn't know whether he'd shared it with anyone.
He did, but maybe some haven't seen it. Man, he can move in the water.
He loved swimming. He loved it, and that pool, it had such a high salt content that you just couldn't sink in it. You were just floating in it all the time. So yeah, that were a great holiday. They were like,
yeah. It was just amazing. I was just so taken back that you were outdoor swimming at that time of year, because I think this was early in the year. Would it have been around maybe February or
end of January we went?
Yeah. Yeah, I was delighted, like, and I think he had a great time there.
Yeah.
He was posting lots of little video files and stuff to Telegram. So I know for sure people in Telegram have probably seen that, like, but maybe others haven't. So
Right.
of course, like I mean, him losing the leg, like, there was like several times he was talking last few months, like he was always worried about like probably losing another leg at some stage due to something similar happening, like, so it was obviously a tough time for everybody when he lost the leg, and it probably set him back a long way. Did he lose the leg when, after or before he took over the radio show, or what was the timeline on that?
I think it was after he'd sort of got out of hospital and recovered. That's when he took over, because I think Andy just kept it going. I think possibly with the help of Webby. I think it were Andy and Webby for a while Jason were in hospital. But I know that he did do a show, or came on a show while he was at hospital, because he'd figured out a way to bypass the internet at the because he needed a VPN to get onto to be able to stream. Yeah.
Right, yeah, because actually one of the videos that you sent over as well too was a little screenshot from a presentation with Jimmy O, I think it was, and Webby. It's a beauty. This is what Jay used to get up to behind the scenes, right?
We'll be happy, yeah.
When I get £10,000 in bank, I'll be happy. When I get that girl I've been after for years, I'll be happy. And when I get that car, all this kind of shit. And like I said, you're just fooling yourself, aren't you?
I remember saying to me, I had a conversation with my mum when I was about 6 or 7, and she'd been talking about
So a little bit of context there as well too, because while that conversation was going on between Jimmy O and Webby, I think it's probably got to do with unhappiness and money, and Jay was focusing in on a comment from Dinny. And Dinny had put a comment in, I'd rather be unhappy and rich at the same time, So I'm not sure if that particular scene was happening live or whether he was listening back, but I would like to imagine that it was happening actually live.
I think it was live. I think it was just because he used to do all kinds of things. Like, I don't know if anyone can remember the show where he'd got no pants on, and he stood up and turned round and bare-arsed everybody.
I wasn't here for that.
But he said he's think I'm going to do this on my show, and like he'd record. He absolutely loved Parks and Recreation, which is a American sitcom, which is on Prime, and he used to take clips of it, and I don't know if you ever saw. I don't know if you ever showed him, but he'd be making clips all the time, and The Office US, and he wanted to put whenever Webby said your gas is free, he wanted to put James Spader on saying, "I'm afraid you've lost my interest." And he were always doing things like that. And that's why he spent his days just thinking of ways that he could troll somebody. Like I've got videos on his phone when he were trolling, I think, Dinner. Pretend you can't see Dinner. Pretend you can't see Dinner in chat room. And I think there were another one when he were posting in chat room as Rob.
Oh yeah, he done it to me as well too, over on Cookie and Pete's.
Yes.
He was Yeah, masquerading as me, he was. He had them all
Yeah.
going.
And he'd do stuff to me like that, and I'd walk around the corner. His latest thing were creeping up on me on his wheelchair. So he'd tip it up onto two wheels so that it didn't squeak, and then creep up on me behind me in the kitchen. And I'd turn around and he'd be there, and he just thought it was hilarious. Or he'd like pretend that we've got a partition in our living room. He'd pretend to be hiding out behind it, but have his knee sticking out so that I can see him. And then he'd like stick his head around like that. It was not just complete. I remember being at work one day and he sent me a text message saying I appear to have shit your wince yet. So he'd got my dressing gown and done a wet fart in it and decided to send a message. I'm afraid I've shit your wince yet. Like, thanks. That.
That was regular.
He came downstairs one day in a pair of my knickers. And I was just like, what are you doing? And yeah, but when we first met, so we met in sort of end of February 2008, and in July 2008 it was my son's 8th birthday, and we'd got a big swimming pool on back garden, and we were having a party and all my family were there. And Jason went upstairs, disappeared for 10 minutes, came back downstairs and just ran straight across the lawn into the pool wearing just a gold thong. And I was absolutely mortified. As the scene just happened, seriously, as that happened. And I think his I think his mum and dad are watching, and I have still got it if you want it. So
oh God, yeah.
You chose that laugh though, Danielle. I had no choice but to deal with it. You chose to marry. That's all I can say.
He used to do some crazy things, like we'd be walking around the supermarket and there'd be an old man. I'm talking an old man leaning into freezers, and he'd push him with trolley and then chuck the trolley at me and point at me.
Okay.
We were in a card shop once, and there were a woman and one at work has sat on floor stacking cards up. He picked a gift bag up and whacked her head with it, and then went, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I get you?" Just stood behind him pissing himself like, I can't believe you've just done that. It was it was just so embarrassing. There were just times when you just wanted a hole to open up and just swallow your up. It's like, I can't believe I'm here with this man doing this.
Yeah, a bit of a wild lad then at heart, really. And
it were a loose cannon. It really were a loose cannon.
Unpredictable.
Yeah, but in a harmless sort of way, like, just ridiculous lad fun, like,
Yeah, you take it a step too far sometimes.
Yeah,
I can imagine, yeah, I can well imagine, these little pranks and stuff do tend to take on a life of their own, like if they're not kept in check.
I'm still here. I'm just
you're all right. So, hope you're all doing well in the chat. Hope you're all enjoying these few stories from Jason's life. And I'm sorry I haven't been keeping too focused on the chat tonight. Normally I'd be trying to do a little bit better, but I think on the occasion tonight, I'm working like with two dialects I'm not used to, so I'm having to direct 100% of my focus on the new dialects, and because obviously it took me a while just to get used to Jason's dialect, even Emmy. I mean, like for a while, like he wasn't. I didn't struggle as bad as I did with Jimmy O. As Jimmy O, I struggled more with, like, but with Jay, it wasn't too bad, not too strong, but it still took me a little bit of time just to get used to his dialect, and which is quite yeah, it's one of those things, like, when you're talking to people far away, like, so I'm having to focus very, very hard on the conversation.
Oh, how many listeners have you got on?
How many what?
Listeners, is there?
There's 50. There's actually 50. If you look up to the top left there at the moment, you can see the time, and then you can see the number. That's actually gone down to 49. We're after losing one. So,
For some reason, it just tells me the time.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm on my iPad, and I think, are you on your phone?
Yeah.
so obviously, it's been a very, very tough year, and I think, like, going right back to that last visit in the hospital with Leeds, and that seemed to be like that was a very, very tough time. I thought, like, because for more reasons than one. Like, obviously, like, as you were saying earlier on, Jay didn't believe in the coof and all that sort of stuff. Like, whereas I was a firm believer, and he actually ended up, like, catching the coof from Leeds, I think it was. So,
Yeah.
and that was ironic because you got sick at the very same time. In fact, if I remember correctly, you got sick first, and
I did. Yeah.
and he was a little bit ill at the time, like, but he was still pottering around, like, but I could tell that he was struggling, like, but I didn't think it was too bad on the first week. It wasn't until the second week that I realized that he was in serious trouble here, like, because the last conversation I had with him before he ended up, like, going offline completely for weeks, for quite a number of weeks, was that he told me that he had to be revived twice or a few times, I think he said it was. So he was very, very close. If I read the situation correctly, he was very, very close to dying back then on us.
He's talking out of his ass.
No way. The lying bastard.
He's never had to be revived with COVID. If he has, then you're in trouble, Danielle.
He had.
The lying bastard.
Bollocks.
Well, every time I phone him, he wouldn't answer me properly. I just said he couldn't talk. So I rang Dannielle and said, "Tell me the truth and don't lie to me. Is my dad okay or not?" Because it didn't sound okay. And I didn't want to go around and catch COVID, but I was gonna, if I didn't hear from Dannielle, because she was riding a horse that day, so she wasn't replying to me. I was giving her another half an hour. She didn't reply. I was gonna go round, ring for an ambulance. But if he had to be revived, you're in bother as well.
Talking out his ass, Emmy. Talking out his ass.
He did have to be revived though when he banged his head up radio, but that was a while ago, wasn't it? That was a scenario.
I told you the day talks bollocks. I told you this afternoon, did I? Talks bollocks.
Yeah, but it doesn't usually worry people.
I'll tell you what, I'm really pissed off with him now. Really pissed off with him now.
He was. We were both really poorly right up until the end of October. So I went down with it on 22nd of September, and he went down with it 2 days after, and we were ill until end of October, and possibly even beyond. Because we were at caravan, we were closing caravan down, and I said, I need to go home. I can't be here. I need to be in my own bed. I need to be in my own house. And so we just packed caravan up and went home and just sort of both laid in bed like that for about a week. But he never had to be revived.
The little bastard. I swear to God, if I could get my hands on him, I'd kill him.
He didn't have to talk. And I'll tell you all now as well, he didn't have any strokes either.
So Chris is climbing in here. I told you, Jimmy, he just wanted a break from us last. Oh no, I feel really duped now. I really do. I feel really duped now because I was there. I was almost going to turn Christian and start saying prayers for the little fucker.
Talks out his ass. Honestly.
Questions about nothing because my dad's one of them. He'll sugarcoat it. When he had his last heart attack, I didn't know. I was the last one to know. Even my little cousin knew before me. And I said, if you ever ask anything from me again, I will never talk to any of you. And then I got a phone call from Dannielle one night. I'd been round for my tea, and Dannielle were at a concert or something.
I'd been to theatre.
Yeah, and she was like, "Were your dad okay today?" I said, "Yeah, tonight." And I said, "Yeah, why?" She went, "Oh, I'm just wondering why. What's wrong?" "Oh, nothing. He's just passed out." Anyway, I found out that he fell over, banged his head up ready, and died 3 times in ambulance on the way to hospital.
That's a load of bollocks as well.
Revived. You said the ambulance kept pulling up to revive him.
It pulled over because he had a funny turn. It probably because of the bottle of port that he drank.
Oh, I thought they kept pulling over to revive him.
They pulled up once.
He told me they kept pulling over to revive him. I swear.
Oh, sorry.
No wonder why he knew how much I worried about him. He knew it.
He's a fibber.
Yeah, but I forgive him now for it. Forgive him. Even though it's all come out now, hasn't it?
He just likes to keep he likes to keep us on his toes.
Oh yeah, he don't worry about me. I went, how can I not worry about your dad? How can I not? I come round for my dinner and you tell me that you died 3 times in ambulance on the way to hospital. And you tell me not to worry. And then when he gets COVID, I ring him, "Are you all right?" "No, not really, but I'm going to go now." I'm like, "Tell me a bit more. Are you actually, I'm worrying about you either on your deathbed." And then just put the phone down. And then I phoned Dannielle. It takes 2 hours to get in touch with Dannielle. I'm going to kill these. Someone just tell me he's all right. And then anyway, that day you fell off your horse.
Yeah, that was when I went to buy Harley.
They were made for each other, honestly. They were both. Time when my dad.
I'm trying to protect you. Your dad's just like torturing you. Like your dad said, you panic when I panic. You panic when I panic.
Well, that's what happened with jet ski. We went on a jet ski in Turkey years ago, and it broke down. And I said, "Oh, is there any sharks in this sea?" And he went, "Yeah, the worst bit about it is when the jet ski breaks down, it sinks." So and then he goes, he felt so bad about it. "I'm only joking. You only need to panic when I start to panic." I'm like, bollocks. I need to panic when I start panicking.
Emmy were about 14 at the time.
Yeah, tell me that there were sharks in the sink. So I was just like, I was scared. I've always said my destiny of dying is by sharks. And and then he tells me that in middle of
Oh no.
He's always dad, always.
Yeah, our dads are always the same anyway, though. Like, you know, they'll always say, yeah, my dad used to say, like, he used to have us in fear of our lives that he was going to die because he'd never shut the fuck up about it. Like, you know, "I'm going to die one of these days, and that's it, you'll be all alone."
all the time. In fact, one of the last things he said to me in that car journey the day he died was, what did he say? God can't catch me or something. God can't get me or something because he's tested death 8 times.
Yeah, he always said we're invincible.
Yeah. And then that same day he were gone. So
he said he were going to outlive us all. And I told him he better.
Yeah, and he's broke his promise now, so I'm having him in when I go up there.
Down there.
Down. If you say something's right, he'd say it's left.
Yeah. Just for argument.
Johnny opposite.
Yeah.
But we'd have him no other way.
There was a beautiful video that you sent us as well too, and I might as well just chuck it in here now because I didn't think Jay had such a beautiful singing voice. I think he really missed his calling. I think. Just
You
give
should
me a
have seen
moment.
me singing at his wedding. He sang at his wedding with it.
Now, where is it though? Where is it? Where is it gone? Where is it gone? I had to rename all of these videos when I was downloading them. Where is he gone? Ah, yeah, here it is. Here.
Well, I said to myself on the day, Raconteurs Newsies on at 8. You better be there or you're going to die. I don't know how. I'll probably employ somebody to do that bit because I'm not very good at killing people with me one leg. Recognize that. Skeleton.
Right weight on him then.
What?
He had some right weight on his face then.
I know, Rachel, but
I know. He lost all that, didn't
yeah. Thing with
Yeah.
Jason, was he could put weight on and then he could just drop it like that. It just used to piss me off because when me and Jason met, I were like stick thin. I were like a size 10, and then we got together and it were like, well, fuck it, I've got one now, so I'll just eat one. And I'd try and feed him, and he'd be like, no. And I'm like, I'm a feeder, and he wouldn't eat it, and he'd lose weight, and I'd just turn into a big fat blob.
I'd go 1 week and it'd be fat, and go other week and it'd be anorexic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few of those videos where he was showing his weight. I think, if I remember correctly, like another one of his fine. Was he singing in this one? Hold on a second now. I think he was singing in this particular one as well too, or trying to.
Donald Stump.
Oh, I was going to save that for just a little bit later, but that's really, really good. But this is here. This is not the one I was thinking of. Like, but
Someone stole my pizza circle. Now I'm going to die.
Look at his face. I just can't believe it. Like, look at him, the chubby little soul. Honestly.
it wasn't the actual one I was actually looking for, but it was. Where was it now? Did it? After, yeah, this one here. This is the debauch side of Jay, I thought.
Morning joints. Morning joints. Morning joints. Morning joints and whiskey.
Whiskey.
And horses. That.
That's when he were naughty.
What the fuck's going on?
I just love that face at the end. I don't know what that is.
That's what it was like living with him. That he was just like that all the
time. That's definitely debauchery, because it wasn't too often that I've seen him with a drink, right? I think there was only one time I actually seen him with an alcoholic beverage, and that was a few times ago. We done a show from the trailer, and he actually had a beer that night, and we shared a beer together. Like, and that was probably the only time I ever seen him with a beer in his hand. Like, so obviously that was some time back when that particular tip, because he got whiskey.
Yeah. I think that was from 2020. That, but I looked at the time. It was like 9:30 in the morning. So I were obviously at work, and he did struggle with alcohol, and for last, it'd been nearly 2 years. It more or less. I mean, he stopped full for a year, and he were just starting to have a drink at weekends. But I'd come in from work, and he'd be pissed, and I'd play hell with him. I'm not going to do it tomorrow morning. I'm not going to do it tomorrow morning. But the thing is, he was, and I don't really want to sort of. He was very sensitive. He really struggled. He really did struggle with losing his leg. We went through some really dark times together, and things were really hard at times. And his way of escaping it was through alcohol. I'm not a big drinker, so you know I get up, I go to work. I'm always busy, and Jason used to be really busy all the time. I mean, he always drank, but it did get to a point where we were getting up and having a drink, and it were really hard. But he stopped, and eventually he did admit that he were an alcoholic, because he would never say that he were an alcoholic, would he, Emmy? I can stop any time, but he never did until he did. And then he said, I were an alcoholic. I'm always going to be an alcoholic. I need to stay off it. And he did. He did it because, I mean, the ultimatum was, it's me or it's booze, because I'm not going to stand here and watch you kill yourself. And he stopped.
I said the exact same thing to him.
Yeah. And he stopped. And I was really proud of him for that.
And he didn't do that for himself. He did that all for me and you, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he did want to live longer, but thing is, he did mainly do that for me and Danielle, which I'll be forever grateful for. And that's what really makes me more angry, is that he did that and he did want to live longer. And then took him like that.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, because I remember, like, I was chatting with him, like, after his just before he got the coof and after the last visit to see Leeds, and he was so not unhappy, but he was pleading with Lee. He was telling me the story about how he was pleading with Leeds just to stop and just get it together, man, and just, you can beat this goddamn drink, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, like, he had come a long way then, like, I could sense, like, from, like, that like he was really, really upset by Leeds and and Leeds not stopping the drinking, and and Jay had seen that, like, he was, if you don't fucking stop, you're gonna kill yourself, you little fucker, please stop, like,
Yeah, I've spoken to Leeds since Jason's died, and I said to him, you know what I'd be saying to you? You need to stop drinking. You've got one fucking life. And if you're listening, I stand by it, Stuart. Stop fucking drinking. Cherish everything that you've got, because you don't know when it's going to be over. And and when you go, just think about people that's left behind. Think about me. Think about Emmy. Think about my son. Think about his parents, because we're absolutely heartbroken without him, and you've got people around you that love you as well. So just fucking stop. Just stop it. And
it isn't drink that took my dad in end, though, is it?
No, it's not. But we leave.
Yeah, it will be that. Yeah.
Stop. And I did say that to him on phone. Another thing that I said to him was, he'll be up at pearly gates arguing with God about our God's not real.
There's no such thing as clouds. Clouds and harps, they don't exist.
This is cloud seeding. These are chemtrails, and you're not fucking real.
He hasn't got much hope getting through those pearly gates, has he?
They'll be waiting for us so we can get through.
But thing that happened 2 days after Jason died. He one of the singers from S Club 7 died as well, which were just astonishing. The guy Paul was only 46, unexplained death 2 days after Jason, and I says to Emmy, he'll be sat outside him, poking him, saying, "Well, go on, sing it, go on, sing it."
The song.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was 46. That is Club 7 singer.
Yeah, 46.
Wow, that is young, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
There's a lot of young people going at the moment. A lot, and this has been one of the topics that me and Jay have been covering over this last 6 to 8 months. Is all these sudden deaths, like of young people. We're talking people who mid-20s to 50s. Like, I'd class them as young. Like, this was just one of those died suddenly. It was one of the topics we were covering, like, religiously. Like, so. It's just ironic that poor Jay would end up in that category as well, too. It's just, wow.
I know we're not allowed to talk about the V word, but one of the things that I noticed somebody put on one of the chats somewhere is, I wonder if it was that. I can tell you categorically he didn't have it. There were no way on this earth that he were having that. No way, no how.
Having what?
The
V.
Oh, COVID vaccine.
You're not allowed to say it.
Well, you can talk about it, like, but just have to be careful. And you can mention the word, but you just have to be careful about talking about crazy stuff.
They delete them off YouTube if you say certain words.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Although it has been on my mind, because like I am one of those people who actually do believe that there is such a thing as the COOF at the COOF-19, and and because of the fact of his exposure, and it has been playing on the back of my mind. I can't deny it, like, because this is one of the topics I've been sort of researching now for about a year and a half, like, and did catching up the COOF actually play, these things I do think about it, and I'm sure like a lot of other people would have thought about it too, like even catching it, like you just wonder, like, because that is the spike protein that's been going around. It's the same thing with just the one that's been spread. So I'll just put that in there, and we won't go too far into it, like, but still, it has been on my mind,
But he didn't have the big V. He didn't. He definitely didn't have it. There were no way. No. They tried in hospital, and he discharged himself.
Yeah, fair play to him.
They were like, "Fuck it, I'll just go home then." So we went home, and I treated him myself. I was his little nurse as well. If nurses saw me walking up ward, they all moved. What's this? That's not done right. And why have you wrote this? And why is he doing that? And you need to sort this out. And they were just like, rolled their eyes at me. And Jason like, shut up.
We all know that we're all a bunch of old farts here to normally tune into this old station here, right? Most of us like are sort of like, we're getting on, like, but Jason also did reach out to younger people as well too, and I was privileged to get a little video from a very, very young listener, and I think you would probably like. I think you might appreciate this little video here, and I do have permission to share it. I don't know if I have permission to say who it's from, like, but maybe the relevant parties might say so, like, but this was a little video that was created by a 9-year-old boy who thankfully didn't get to watch all our shows, because most of our shows get a little bit raucous and language can be bad sometimes, but they're selective pieces were shown to them, and this is what a 9-year-old boy created for Jason and myself.
My eyes filled up when he showed me that video, and his mum she used to send some absolutely lovely emails to me, Jason, and Watson. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Very good. I have a feeling though most people haven't seen this, you know.
No, I don't think they have.
And I think this is probably an appropriate time just to chuck it in.
Oh, it's RN.
Beep, beep, beep.
Good evening and welcome to Hunter's News.
Here's Watson.
And outside there's no stuff. So there you go. Stuff and no stuff. Stuff and nonsense. What date are we?
Time for a change. Oops. I need to look for my cats.
That were our first line. That were Andy used to.
I'm back. But jeez.
He's here and almost here Tuesday.
Oh, be Jesus. I have to say, when I seen that, my heart melted, like, and he had me down to a T. Oh, be Jesus. It's like but that was a little video from a 9-year-old man who is familiar with parts of the show, and thankfully not all the shows, because most of mine and Jason's shows weren't fit for young ears. Like,
No, but yeah, he's got a beautiful mom. Yeah, she knows who she is. I read every email.
Talk grandmum, was it not grandmum? I don't. Have we all frozen?
No. I think we were all just sat really still.
I thought for a moment we all froze just for a second there.
It was a time for reflection.
Yeah. That little video just blew my brain when I seen it. Like, you know, the creativity, and it's when I see sort of like when I see things like that, and you know that the future is going to be okay, that the next generation coming on are just going to be they're going to be a-okay. Like, you know, they're well tuned in, creative, artistic, and they have a sense of humor, and they're very, very tuned in. You know, a lot of people will say, like, the younger generation, that they're not interested, they don't care. No, that's not true. They're not true, like, because that proves that they're well tuned in, you know.
Jason actually sent him one of his Rubik's cubes.
Oh, lovely.
And he did send another video of receiving the Rubik's cube as well, which was lovely.
Cute.
I don't know where it is actually. I imagine it's on Jason's email somewhere, but I'd have to speak to his mum.
Yeah, Jay was actually 51. Would he be 52 today?
53.
Oh, 53 today. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I stand corrected. So he was the same age as me, basically. Wow.
1970.
There you go. Just maybe slightly older than her. I don't know. I do prefer to forget these days, you know.
He's currently dressed in his favourite shorts, his blue and white stripy sock, and I bought him a 1970 Wednesday home shirt. So that's how he's dressed at the moment. So yeah, he's going out in style. 1970s style.
Shall we play that one, Donald Stump?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I got such a lot. I watched that several times today, and so hopefully everybody will appreciate. Where is it gone? Where is it gone?
I think it was last one I sent you because I ran out of time. There's so many more videos.
Don't worry about it. I renamed all the videos so that I had an idea where I was going, like, because Telegram doesn't name things very, very nicely.
Hello, my name is Donald Stump, and I am the candidate, the leader of the Stump Party for the old wrinkly stumps in our society that need representation.
One Christmas, you can't see it the way that he's got it there, but when he let it flop, it had like a mouth as well. So we drew eyes on it. We got a little Christmas hat on it, and it was Stumpy Christmas. And the thing about Jason's stump is, so when they amputate a limb, what they do is they get all the nerves and they roll them up and put them inside the stump, because apparently it helps with phantom pain. And there were parts of his scar that you could touch, and it'd be a part of his leg. So one part would be his toe, another part would be behind his knee. And I'd just sit there like messing on his scar. He'd be like, oh, that's my toe. Oh, that's my big toe. And yeah, we, you know, for a lot of people, it's quite scary to have a leg amputated, but for me, he was still the same person. He was my amazing husband. We went through some bad times, but he were always himself. He never pretended to be anything else. And you know, we'd take piss, and I'd say, you know, you're a spaz, and if you don't do as I'm saying, I'm gonna take your leg and put it upstairs. I'll take keys out of your lift, or I'll move your wheelchair so you can't go anywhere. And that's, you know, that's how we dealt with it. We took piss out of it. Yeah, he did say that he was going to report me to social services because I were abusing him.
A battered husband. But yeah, of course, it must have been a terrible time, though, because when I think back, because he showed me a few of the pictures of the state that his legs were in at the time, and like, you know, the blackness of some of the places that were going bad, and the way his toes were stuck together. It must have gone through hell with that, like, you know.
That's his right leg, so that's his remaining leg. And I mean, it took 12 months, but it did heal. But what I will tell you is, my God, it stunk. It absolutely reeked, didn't it? Oh my God, it stunk.
Yeah.
And I remember we went to my mum's once, and my mum says, "Oh, have you farted?" And I bumped at my mum at leg. I went, "It's his leg."
It probably helped that he didn't shower a lot.
You might love.
It probably didn't help that he didn't shower a lot.
No. See, me and Jason were that close that there were a time when I had to see to his needs, let's say. So
yeah, but you can only imagine, though, because like, even if you think about somebody who even has bad toenails, right, and somebody has a rot setting in on their toenail, that can be an awful smell. So you can imagine, like, when a leg is on the verge of dying, like, you know what,
oh my God,
the biological process is going on, like, you know, it must be.
I can't even describe the smell.
Was this when he had the dressing on and it needed changing?
Yeah. When nurses came and took his dressing off, it were like, it were absolutely disgusting.
I could smell not had it changed for like even a day or two.
Yeah. It were gross.
I won't sit next to him because of it. Now I feel bad about it.
I'd tell him that it stunk.
I used to tell him, but he's like, I don't really want to give you a hug because your legs.
I think my guests are back, which means Watson's going to start in a minute.
No, that's okay because we're getting close to the 2-hour mark now. Now, I don't know how much time you have, Danny and Emmy, but what we normally do on Raccoons is we have an after show, and I don't know if you want to stay on for a little bit of time. Just maybe some people might want to come in and offer their condolences, or maybe some terms of endearment, or maybe just grieve with you. I don't know if you want to stay for any of that. But I will say to the people in the chat, there will be an after show here. We won't expect Dannielle and Emmy to stay. They have lives and they're busy, and they were very, very kind to devote this much time to us and share this much of Jason's life. And it's been a pleasure just to get that sort of to hear the other side of him. It's been wonderful. And thanks for sharing all those videos. I'm going to cherish them. I'm going to hide them away and save them as well. And they'll be here as well too for anybody who wants to revisit. And this should be a pinned video on the channel, Dannielle, but make sure that this video is pinned forever. And
I think
so
I may have to pass the baton to you, but we need to talk about that. But I've got all passwords and everything, but we'll talk about that another time.
We'll worry about that after the 3rd of May. I can't even think about it at the moment myself. To be honest, I'm still trying to come to terms with. I don't even know how I'd be able to do this without Jay or anything like that. So we'll talk about this later. And it's not a topic for tonight at all. So so I don't know whether you want to stay to say hello to a few people who might want to say.
Yeah, I may hang around for 10 minutes or so, but I do just need to nip to the toilet and pour myself another drink.
No, you work away. I'm going to have to do something similar as well too as soon as we end the stream. And Emmy, the offer is open to you as well too. And if you, great. Now, what I'll say is, what I will say for people is coming in, be aware that we can only have about 10 people on the stream. If you see the stream getting full, first in, first out. Be respectful. Keep it short and sweet, and let as many people have a little word with Dannielle and Emmy as possible. And again, I would like to thank everybody for joining the stream tonight. Fair play to you. There was quite a number in there. It was great to see you all for this very, very special stream on tonight, Jason's birthday. So what I'll do is I'll get the invite link up now, and
get your Senna Jack and Coke.
Exactly. Go have a wee or whatever everybody needs to do. I have some similar tasks to take care of. So there's the after show link, guys and gals. And I shouldn't say guys, but I don't have problems with words like that. So stay tuned.
Yeah,
there will be more from Wrecking Tours. Yeah. So much appreciated, Dannielle, Emmy. Thanks very, very much, and it was so lovely to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Is it in chat?
It's in the chat now. There, well, it should be. Yeah. It's just gone through in the chat. Yeah. So I'm going to end the stream at that now, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yep. Take care.